Alternate history or alternative history, sometimes abbreviated as AR, is a genre of fiction consisting of stories in which one or more historical events occur differently from reality. These stories usually contain what-if scenarios at crucial points in history and present an outcome of events alternative to historical record. The stories are the product of conjecture, but are sometimes based on scientific fact. Alternate history can be seen as a subgenre of literary fiction, science fiction, and/or historical fiction. Different alternate history works may use tropes from any or all of these genres. Another term occasionally used for the genre is allohistory. Since the 1950s, this type of fiction has, to a large extent, merged with science fiction tropes involving time travel between alternate histories, psychic awareness of the existence of one universe by the people in another, or time travel that results in history splitting into two or more timelines. Cross-time, time-splitting, and alternate history themes have become so closely interwoven that it is impossible to discuss them fully apart from one another. In French, Italian, Spanish, Catalan and German, the genre of alternate history is called uchroni, uchroni, which has given rise to the term uchronia in English. This neologism is based on the prefix omicron upsilon and the ancient Greek chi-rho omicron nu omicron sigma, meaning time. Uchronia means literally no time. This term apparently also inspired the name of the alternate history book list, Uchronia. Net. Definition. The Collins English Dictionary defines alternative history as the genre of fiction in which the author speculates on how the course of history might have been altered if a particular historical event had had a different outcome. Quote, according to Stephen H. Silver, an American science fiction editor, alternate history requires three things: a point of divergence from the history of our world prior to the time at which the author is writing, a change that would alter history as it is known, and an examination of the ramifications of that change. Several genres of fiction have been misidentified as alternate history. Science fiction set in what was the future but is now the past, like Arthur C. Clarke's 2001, A Space Odyssey or George Orwell's 1984, is not alternate history because the author did not make the choice to change the past at the time of writing. Secret history, which can take the form of fiction and non-fiction, documents events that may or may not have happened historically but did not have an effect on the overall outcome of history, and so is not to be confused with alternate history. Alternate history is related to, but distinct from, counterfactual history. This term is used by some professional historians to describe the practice of using thoroughly researched and carefully reasoned speculations on what might have happened if, as a tool of academic historical research, as opposed to a literary device. Online, fans of alternate history have made use of the Internet from a very early point to showcase their own works and provide useful tools for those fans searching for anything alternate history, first in mailing lists and Usenet groups, later in web databases and forums. The Usenet Alternate History list was first posted on April 11, 1991, to the Usenet newsgroup record.SF lovers. In May 1995, the dedicated newsgroup SO History What If was created for showcasing and discussing alternate histories. Its prominence declined with the general migration from unmoderated Usenet to moderated web forums, most prominently Alternate History.com. Today the self-described largest gathering of alternate history fans on the Internet. In addition to these discussion forums, in 1997 Uchronia, the alternate history list was created created as an online repository, now containing over 2,900 alternate history novels, stories, essays, and other printed materials in several different languages. Utronia was selected as the Sci-Fi Channel's Sci-Fi Site of the Week twice. Collaborative attempts by several amateur writers have led to notable accomplishments. The contributors at _The have made two constructed languages, Brythonic and Wedi.